In my last video, I went all in on Tesla and a bunch of you called me out. And you were right, because Tesla inductive charging is really only 5% of what it's going to take to get Tesla RoboTaxi Cybercab really on the road, working like the workhorse it's supposed to be. Today, we're going to be diving into the other 95% of what it's going to take, and that includes service hubs, cleaning, grid power, and actual fleet economics. There is a graph here that I did not make myself. It is made by CERN Basher. I'm sure a lot of you that have watched my videos have probably seen this graph. I'm not going to dip into every single little thing such as FSD cost or vehicle cost. The car is going to be roughly around 30 grand. Finance cost. You're either going to be financing this thing or you're going to buy it, or a few of them outright if you're a lucky few. So the first thing we're going to be looking at here is charging. If you didn't know, this is one of the largest hub for charging for Teslas.
Welcome back to Charge Positive, and welcome to Lost Hills, California, where this is the second location installed in this town. This one is now on the east side of the 5 freeway, and it is much bigger. Currently, as of the post on X by Tesla Charging, there are 84 of these stations online right now, which when complete, they're gonna have 168. In one of my previous videos, I covered the Barstow location, which was at the time the world's largest at 120, but now we have 168 when this is done. And not only that, it's going to have more amenities. If you've been to Kettleman City, you probably have an idea of what they're gonna put here. Now, it's not done yet. I'm gonna show you the construction, but it's gonna have what it looks like, a lounge, some seating, some shade, some bathrooms. Right now it's only a temporary bathroom, so it's not done yet, but it is already one of the biggest stations in the world, and it will be the largest when complete. This is the first time I've seen this many pull-through stalls in one location. Out of the 168, there are 12 pull-through stalls here.
I want to pause here, and I hope he actually has a higher view, and I think he does. But one thing to say, because I know people are going to be talking about it, is the fact of all of these ground mounted charging panels, the solar panels. These can act as a roof. If we're thinking like big scale, if we're thinking in terms of like a Buc-ee's in Texas, I'm actually in Switzerland, so we don't have it here. As far as like a big, huge, ginormous station, I'm thinking they can make them on the roof just like you see here. But then again, they have them on the roofs here, but then they still have to put them out on the ground. That's a lot of space being taken up. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like that's not a lot of space. But I mean, if you have this space, you might as well use it. This is the cheapest way to mount these instead of making them a covered parking lot. So when you're thinking of like putting, you know, RoboTaxi in the cities and stuff like this, it's going to be hard to have that many solar panels. Then again, this is an absolutely huge charging station, and you'll see here in a minute that I think they can make them smaller but more spread out, which also I believe is the goal for the RoboTaxis, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But let's go ahead and finish watching what he was saying here.
And they're not just regular stalls too, they're extra long and also extra wide. Look at this. It takes me about, I think, about 12 steps to get across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 11, 12 size.
I'm sorry I keep pausing, but so these are very wide. Why do you think that is? Well, I have an idea of why I think that is. Tesla Semi. If you've been keeping up with Tesla, well, we have all the semis being produced now, and they're getting pushed out. You're going to see them more and more. But not only Semi, you have other companies. I think it is, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I think it's Aurora, Project Aurora, I think it is, where they have the, I think it's LiDAR and cameras on the semi trucks. Anyways, they could probably also use these superchargers. I don't know. But I think Aurora is like hybrid. I think it's sensors on trucks that are actually combustion fuel still. But this right here could absolutely be for Tesla Semi. It makes the most amount of sense.
10 and a half shoe steps to get across these spots. So there's plenty of room to maneuver here for anybody, any skill set of towing. And they're diagonal right off the entrance right there. Easy peasy. Check that out. So if you're pulling a trailer and you want to charge at one of these pull-through spots without needing to unhitch, basically you come in the east entrance here. There's right up here, and you have the pull-through spots right here by the entrance, and they're diagonal. And so once you're done, you unhook and you just drive right out. It's kind of very similar to an RV park or like, you know, a travel station truck stop. But once you're done, pull right out, and then there's a big road that goes all the way around and you can go out the other exit. So there's plenty of room here to maneuver if you're towing with the trailer. So right here next to the pull-through chargers for the towing, we have the mega packs. Wow, that is a lot of juice. Now it's a lot of fun to see when they put a mega pack on a semi-trailer and they have them, basically they're able to drop in.
Again, I think it's the space, man. These battery packs take up a lot of space. The solar panels take up a lot of space. How do you get around that? My personal opinion is you bury the battery packs underground. You store your storage underground. It's cooler underground, so they don't have to worry about them heating up so much, and you're saving space. So I'm thinking if you stack it vertically, you basically dig a dig hole, you put all of your storage underground. Your next layer is the actual amenities and charging, and then above that you have your roof as the solar panels.
Temporary chargers anywhere, but to see them, a whole bunch of them in one spot, that's a lot of power. Next to the mega packs, which is much bigger, is this giant solar field, probably 4 or 5 times larger.
This is a big charging station, and it's worth pointing out. I'm not going to say it's all positive, right? But it's worth pointing out the size of this. Look at this. So if you think in terms of space for charging versus the space taken up for just solar powered panels, the solar panels, I mean, come on, this isn't efficient. Look at that. You got one footprint here to 1, 2, 3, 4 panels when actually it's not that many charging stations. I think this can be better. I don't know exactly how, but it's got to be better than this. I think it's got to be more efficient than this. That's my take. I don't know. That's a huge footprint. Unless, you know, they have another lot here that they're going to be building on, and then maybe you have half and half. So maybe you have 50% of actual utilization of vehicles charging and then 50% of solar panels. I don't know. That's a lot of solar panels.
This went from a dirt lot to going to be the largest charging station here for superchargers in a matter of months. Wow, 600 amps, maximum available fault current, 2,770 kiloamps. There's some serious power here. I mean, if you're going to have 168 V3.5, V4 superchargers here, you're going to need a lot of juice.
Right. So that's really cool. And then, you know, we kind of get into how efficient is the Cybercab. This is ridiculous. Someone said it's like the same amount of an incandescent light bulb. I think that's a bit of a stretch. But 165 milliwatts per mile. I mean, look at this. Compared to Cybertruck, which is 410, 280, 254, and then look at this, 165. But this makes a lot of sense because the car is super light. It's built, and I'm going to say it, it's built super cheap. I mean, it doesn't have a steering wheel. It doesn't have pedals. That alone has brought production prices down so much that you can sell a car for cheap and you can make it lighter, which makes it more efficient. Everything just rolls downhill. Going back to our graph here. So this we didn't cover. So we have charging. So charging, cleaning, and parking. I feel like this is one big bundle of things here. And again, we're looking at this in terms of buying a Cybercab and having one ourselves. I am going to get one the second that I can. And I stand on this 10 toes down because this is going to be such a great opportunity, which we will get here. If we're talking in terms of charging and cleaning and parking, well, this all comes down to these that are popping up. Now, I heard that this one was being built in Arizona, and then I went to go look it up, and lo and behold, it's already built. Let's go ahead and watch this cleaning, charging, and parking for Tesla Cybercab RoboTaxi.
All right, update from the air. Tesla Cybercab RoboTaxi car wash. You can see the pre-existing building here has a few Teslas out front. They're going to retrofit the interior to make it an enclosed car wash. Also an area for maintenance. Should see some Cybercabs rolling through soon.
So there's this view, then we have this one.
This is the new Tesla Cybercab RoboTaxi car wash here. We are out at Patrick Lane and Mohawk Street here on the west side of town. This is an existing building. They're going to be doing some improvements, and it should be interesting to see.
And then we have some other views here. You got the Tesla Cybercab rolling out. This is when they still have drivers doing all of the testing and everything like that. Everyone says that, oh, they still have drivers. It's never going to work. That's just complete lies, in my opinion. And again, you still see that we have to plug it in down here, which is sad to see. I want to see my inductive charging very soon because, as I've said, that's a huge piece of the puzzle. But so that is what it looks on the what it looks like on the outside. Now let's go ahead and take a look to see what is supposedly going on in this building.
I wake, I clean, I live. They leave gifts for me, so kind. They feed me like a king, but I don't do it for accolades. My work is my sustenance, soaking up every last crumb in every last crevice. Potato chips.
If you notice, look at the seats. Like, they don't have a lot of crevices, and this is all very well thought out. Look right here. Look at this. It's sealed up. It's sealed up right here. All of this matters, right? So basically, in short, that means like your crumbs and stuff aren't getting like really locked down in there. So these automated vacuums can reach it easier, right? Easier to clean.
Like our own little game of hide and seek. Found you. It's a simple life, but as the sun is to a flower, vital. Until next time, my old friend.
Right. So I would love to see a lot more that goes into this place, but we can only assume. One, they're going to be there's going to be people in there for now, plugging their cars in. And I think as someone that owns Tesla stock, or someone that owns a Tesla Cybercab, I think you can opt into using Tesla's services, which is this building here, which has probably maintenance in there. It has the charging, it has the cleaning like you just saw, even like the car wash to wash the outside. I'm sure all of that's in there because why wouldn't it be in there, right? So from a standpoint of a Tesla investor, I think that it just makes everything feel more secure in the fact like it's going to work. This is my personal feeling. This is how I feel about it. And I think as someone that owns a Tesla Cybercab, you want completely passive income from it. I don't think that's possible. It's not completely possible. It's not 100% possible, right? Because if we go back and look at our graph here, we looked at our parking, cleaning, charging. That's all in that one place. You can look at the cost yourself. You can add this up. This is not a big deal right now. Okay, it's the cost. Everything has a cost, right? But you have your insurance. It's another cost. So marketing, that's up to you. You can decide to put advertisements on the vehicle, I think, if you want, and wrap it in an advertised brand, which is something I'm going to do. But then you have other operational costs. One, other operational costs. Two, tires and maintenance. I feel like these three can also kind of go together because let's think of, obviously you're going to be replacing tires, but if you think about the tires and the maintenance, that's super low. One, the car is not driving a lot of highway. I think you're going to see it more urban city centers. Again, it's not heavy, which weight on tires causes more tire wear. That's a big deal that people don't think about. The car is built light. It's built cheap. It's not built to be super luxurious and comfortable like a Lincoln Town Car or something like that. It's a workhorse, right? So it's built cheap so that you can afford to buy one. It can run cheap and all of that. So I think as far as the maintenance go, as far as a Cybercab owner, you're going to have to refill the washer fluid, which I think is a huge ordeal because the cameras are everything on this car. What you're paying for on the Tesla Cybercab is the brain of the operation. You're paying for FSD. You're paying for that AI, and it's getting better and better and better every single day. So that's another thing that they will be doing in the Tesla service centers is changing out the washer fluid, right? And it's got just a few moving parts. It's not an internal combustion engine that needs maintenance on every single little thing, right? So that's why I compare Tesla Cybercab to a horse and buggy when the first car hit the assembly line back in 1920s, or when Henry Ford made the actual assembly line work and made cars more affordable for people in mass, right? So EV taxes and other and all of that. And then you have your gross profit of the absolute minimum. Most conservative is $23,000 a year. And you think, oh, $23,000 a year is not that much. But let's say you have 3 Cybercabs. You're looking at $69,000 a year, almost $70,000 a year, which is pretty well passive income, right? You're not doing that much, right? I mean, it's pretty good. I love it. I absolutely love it. And that's why I'm head over heels. And that's why I'm all in on Tesla. But people saying that it's not going to work. Well, in my comments, I got like regulations and, well, you got to get past all of this for governmental blah, 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 which is a true concern. But look at this automated vehicle operation information. Look, they're authorized. Tesla, RoboTaxi in Texas, ready to go. So that's also why you're seeing them roll off the line. And check this out. This is one of the first ones to roll off the line all by itself and no steering wheel. It's happening, people. It is happening. It is happening live action right now. And they're saying that, oh, well, you don't see that many of them around, or, oh, it's just nothing, right? Like, surely this is nothing, right? Yeah, okay. Look at this. And again, so going back to this right here, you see these wheels. So they have smaller wheels in the front than they do the back, but also bigger tires in the front. Why? Because of potholes. You're going to be in cities. You're going to be hitting a bunch of potholes, stuff like this. It's just another one of those simple engineering decisions to not put aluminum on the front because it's going to take the most damage, right? And put lighter aluminum wheels on the rear just because they're lighter. These are going to be a little heavier, but also remember, this is where the motors and everything are, for the most part, is in the front. The engineering behind this car is fascinating because it's so simple. And let's go ahead and move on. Look at this. Production is ramping up. So this is, I think this is in Austin. I think this is the outbound lot. Look how many Cybercabs there are already. It's so crazy. And there's more, but they bus them out. They're bussing them out. You know where they're bussing them out is to other cities in Texas. Right now, this is Dallas. And they're just sitting there. Production-ready Cybercabs, a full fleet ready to go. This is happening. And it's happening, I think, under our noses sooner than it's actually being led on for us to believe. So if you're a Tesla investor, if you hold Tesla stock, I think it's a great time for us. I said I'm full in on Tesla. I am with what I have as far as my positions in stock. And the second I can purchase one of these Cybercabs, I'm purchasing one of these Cybercabs. So if you like that and you want to see my journey with this, go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you're still on the fence of if you want to invest in Tesla, check out what this gentleman has to say. I watch a lot of Herbert Ong, and I also follow him on X. And apparently he did an interview with this gentleman here. He's the managing director at Piper Sandler, who knows him for his deep analysts of Tesla. And this is what he had to say about investing in Tesla.
Institutional investors aren't a monolith. So me personally, like if I was allowed to own stocks in my own portfolio that I cover, which I'm not, but if I was allowed, then Tesla would be the biggest holding, and I would just hold it until the day I retire. And that's the case with this conversation about a merger. It's the case without the conversation about the merger. So I guess implicitly what I'm saying is like, I think it's a good thing. I think inevitably it will happen. And if you would have asked me 2 or 3, 5 years ago, if, you know, all of Elon's companies will one day be one entity, ultimately, when it doesn't work, they will be forced to capitulate and use Tesla's system. But that'll be a multi-year process, right? That's why, like I said, you know, we have these upward inflections in the S-curve for RoboTaxi, but also for FSD licensing out quite a ways, because it's in the forecast, right? Like it doesn't really start impacting. But if you take those S-curves and shift them ahead by a year or 2 years or 3 years, then the DCF, because obviously time value of money, right? So that then it does have, you know, a big impact on our DCF valuation.
He's also talking about how the merger could happen with Tesla and SpaceX. And if you know anything about SpaceX and what they're doing and why their IPO is going to go even higher than we initially expected, well, 2 things here is, if you don't trust Tesla, trust it. I'm all in on it. And then obviously a lot of us have concerns, or not concerns, but we don't know if we want to split our Tesla into SpaceX with the IPO. It's a question a lot of us have because, I mean, look at this.
Ignition. We have liftoff.
Set you downrange.
And the reason that Tesla / SpaceX, let's just call it SpaceX for now, the reason they're going to be so much more valuable is because of the quite unfortunate thing that has happened with Amazon. If you don't know what I'm talking about there, make sure to watch this next video. If you like this, like and subscribe. Have a great day.